Our next speaker, Prem Rawat, began speaking publicly about peace at the age of 4 years old. He's been awarded the honorary title of Global Ambassador of Peace from the European Parliament's Pledge to Peace, the United Nations University of Peace in Brazil, and other organizations. He is the founder of the Peace Education Program, a series of workshops that help people discover their inner strength and reflect on their own humanity. His foundation partners with NGOs, governments, schools, law enforcement, other groups, and individual volunteers in more than 70 countries across 6 continents. In post-conflict zones, the program has helped heal the wounds of victims and ex-combatants. Please welcome Prem Rawat.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, it's a great pleasure to be addressing you today. My name is Prem Rawat, and I'm the founder of the Prem Rawat Foundation, which puts out the Peace Education Program. The Peace Education Program has been incredibly successful, and I would just like to give you a little bit of background as it relates to the Peace Education Program. It has over 160,000 participants, over 70 countries, and in 35 languages. It has been seen and has affected 60,000 plus people in the correctional facilities in 40 countries. In over 600 educational facilities, and over 40,000 people have been able to attend and have the benefit of it. And it is enjoyed by communities, by health and wellness, by nonprofits, NGOs, civic governments, senior centers, police and law enforcement, military and veterans, and homeless shelters. So, of course, why is the Peace Education Program so successful? And here, what we really have to understand is a very, very ancient statement that was made by Socrates. Know thyself. Something that puts us in touch with who we as human beings are. And Peace Education Program does exactly that. So many of our society's problems really arise from us going away from ourselves. And as more and more we march towards what other people think is cool, what other people dictate to us, we go away from who truly we are. We forget that we are human beings, that we have certain needs. And I'm going to make a little distinction here between needs and wants, because wants are abundant, and even when satisfied, we are never satisfied with our wants because they keep changing. The needs, on the other hand, are very, very important for us. And we sometimes forget that there are things that we need in our life. We need kindness. We need understanding. We need joy. We need clarity. These are important things. And when we do not have them, we become alienated. But we don't become alienated from the world. We become alienated from ourselves. And when we are alienated from ourselves, truly what a human being should be like goes away from us. We no longer understand that simple need to be kind, that simple need to be full of understanding. And all of a sudden, even in environments that should be full of love, full of encouragement, full of understanding, you find yourself that people are fighting. When people are fighting at home, when people are fighting with themselves, this is going to be sooner or later an expression that is going to come out in this world. And before you know it, you've got wars everywhere. Before you know it, you've got people who are angry because they really don't understand what they are all about. They are frustrated because 24/7 they think they have to fulfill other people's expectations of them. Look at social media, it's full of it. Look at person of today. They don't have time to even just drive a car properly. They're driving and they're talking, they're driving and they're texting, and so many accidents happen. Because people really are caught up in trying to fulfill not their expectation of themselves, but other people's expectations of them. What happens? Frustration happens. What happens? Anger happens. What happens? Unsatisfaction happens. And we move away from the simple peace of being a human being. We move away from that simple understanding of being a human being. And when that happens, it really takes something to awaken us again. The Peace Education Program is profoundly simple. It puts people in touch with themselves. And when they are in touch with themselves, what do they find? They find hope. They find hope, which is so important for a human being. Hope is hope. It is the light. It is somebody turning on a light in a very, very, very dark environment. The light doesn't need to be very bright. Just a little bit of light goes a long ways in illuminating our path. We don't need somebody to come along and sweep our path. We want somebody to just simply come and illuminate our path so we can see the obstacles and we can go around. As human beings, we are very good at circumnavigating the obstacles that are around only if we can see them. If we can't see them, then we keep bumping into them. And this causes frustration, this causes anger, this causes fear, that causes worries. And if you look around, the world is full of it. I'm not saying that this is a bad world. There are good people here, and there is goodness. Even in the dire situation, there is goodness in people. But it has to be brought out. And Peace Education Program exactly does that. Because it puts people in touch with themselves. That's its forte. That's its little clever little niche, if you will, of how it works. It makes that possible for people. And it's amazing that when people come back to themselves, they find joy. They find a very different kind of happiness, not the entertainment kind of happiness, but of a happiness of coming home, where you understand that yes, these things did not need to happen the way they happen. And I'm talking about the correctional facilities where people end up. And some of them are in those correctional facilities for life. What happens? On one hand, Government creates so many regulations and police and jails and everything. And on the other hand, you have a peace education program that successfully in Telangana, a state in India, closed down 5 prisons because the people who were once released, the inmates that were released, did not come back. They did not want to come back. So they had to close down 5 prisons. This is what peace education program has done. Not that it can do, it has done. This has happened. And everywhere that I go, through especially the corrections facilities, I see people are so thankful, so thankful. And they say that, if I had known this program ahead of time, I would have never been in this prison. I would have never done this. This is also true for the people I met from Sri Lanka who had been fighting with the Tamil Tigers. This is also true of the people who were the guerrillas in Colombia. So when a human being can be allowed to be in touch with themselves, amazing things can happen. And peace education program does exactly that. So thank you for letting me talk to you about the peace education program. And please, all of you, be safe and be in touch with yourself. Thank you.